What's up, YouTube? It's Dylan Barley here, and I just wanted to talk about YCS Toronto. I'm like 5 days late on talking about it, but um, I just really haven't got the time to do it. Um, and I know I said I was gonna post a whole lot more coverage on this channel, but I felt like this was kind of needed. So I'm gonna talk about YCS Toronto a little bit, even though you guys have already heard most of it. Um, So yeah, first place, Josh Graham. Congrats to him for winning with windups. And if my camera keeps zooming in and zooming out, I'm sorry. I don't know why it's doing it. It's being retarded. But yeah, he won the windups, which is very funny because a lot of people think the deck's dead, and whoever thinks the deck's dead is just fucking stupid, and they don't need to play this card game anymore. Um, I mean, all they can't do is hand loop you. They still can spam synchros. They still have one card answers. I mean, the deck's still very strong. Um, can it be sided heavily? Yeah, sure, but it can be. You can counter side to everyone else who's side decking shit for you. Um, that's just how I feel. I feel like Effect Veiler isn't that big of a threat. Um, because if you go like shark effect or magician effect and you effect veiler it and you have a factor in the field, you still get a search for factory because it attempted to activate the effect. The effect doesn't have to go through. That's pretty stupid. It's like you summon rat, go effect, they go skill drain needs to go search with a factory because it attempted to activate the effect. Because all it says is activating the effect. It doesn't have to resolve. So Effect Veiler doesn't hurt the deck as well as it should. Um, it's still a very good deck. And then congrats to Jeff Jones for getting second Wood Psychics and pretty much innovating the format. By that I mean he brought in a completely new deck into the format that's actually competitive. Um, and now a lot of people are trying to use the ground soil in decks. I've seen someone build X Sabers with ground soil, um, and now people are net decking him, and yeah, so he pretty much brought a whole brand new deck to the format, which um, in my opinion is very good. I knew psychics were good. A lot of people at my locals played them with Mind Master. And then when my master was banned, they played him with D heroes, and it was pretty good. So, um, but yeah, so let's talk about the format, how diverse it is, and how um what we've learned from Toronto. The format is very diverse after this ban list, and I personally hate very diverse format decks or very diverse formats. I personally hate it because I think it takes no skill. I think it's just it's dumb how you have to side deck for so many different decks, and it's not necessarily skillful because it's like you can play the rogue deck and win, and it's just very stupid in my opinion. I've never liked very diverse format decks because a deck can be very strong against a certain deck, but instantly lose to something else, and even if you play your cards at the right time and you played very skillfully, it seemed like every format your deck always auto lose to some other deck. And I felt like that was very fair, very unfair, and you're at a huge disadvantage no matter what deck you ran. Um, and it was very luck based to win. This format I find it skillfuler. Not skillful. I find it more skillful because of the fact that people are still trying to play like Chaos Dragons. They're still not bad. Um, people are trying to play them. People are still trying to play Dino Rabbit. You know, I've seen in the deck building, I've seen a lot of people play cards that you wouldn't think would work, and for their playstyle, they play it and it works and they play it skillfully. I saw a Dark World deck profile at Toronto. He was playing like one terraforming, like one pod duality, like just weird stuff that you wouldn't expect to see, and it worked for him. I think deck building is starting to evolve a little bit more. People are starting to play cards that um, you think wouldn't work, but they do. That's another thing that I think a couple of formats haven't allowed us to do was to play cards out of our comfort zone. I've seen weird stuff. I've seen one pod duality. I've seen one effect veiler. Um, I've seen deck dev and eradicator in Dark Worlds. Um, what skill drain. I've seen just a bunch of weird things that you wouldn't think would work. But I think this format, it's just that time for where cards can work in certain decks, so to say. If that made any sense. Um, so yeah, I think deck building is starting to look a lot more like Magic the Gathering. People aren't necessarily net decking a whole lot, which again, is another thing why I think this format is going to be skillfuler. Um, the previous YCSs before this format, um, they stopped doing the deck lists. They stopped giving out deck lists on UDE. So it does make the format, or it makes not the format, but it makes the game more of a skill base. So now people can't net deck and just tweak it. They have to pretty much build their deck from scratch. Of course, you can go on YouTube and there'll be people posting the deck lists and stuff, but um, some decks are still a lot harder to find. Um, Also, the top tables, depending on how many players are at an event. Um, there's no more top 64. It's just going into straight 32 and so on and so forth. Um, but this format is very good because there's no OTKs running around yet. I've heard of an anomaly OTK, but that deck looks like it's gonna flop. So, um, establishing the format now. Pretty much, windups were a very good showing. I knew they were going to win. I had a strong feeling that they were going to win. Um, so we got windups. Probably the second best deck is going to be Gears. The Gear deck looks really good, looks really promising. I'm not too sure how many topped. I think 4 or 5. They look very promising. A lot of people aren't citing heavy for it yet. I don't think the deck needs to be cited heavy for it. Like, I don't think people need to be citing system downs or nothing like that. I think Cyber Dragon is good enough. Not even necessarily Cyber Dragon. I think Nomad Crossout's a really good card for them. Because they set the one guy that gives them the advantage. So they're always setting that one guy. So if you just cross it out, you don't have to worry about them netting advantage. Um, Heroes are very good this format. They were good last format, and now there's a lot of hero players running around. And then of course you still have Dino Rabbits running around. I don't like Dino Rabbit too much anymore. I think the deck isn't very great. Um, and then everything else just kind of falls under Dino Rabbits. You got Dark World and Samurai and everything else that you could think of. Um, but yeah, this format is looking very promising. Um, so yeah, format's definitely looking very promising. People are running more traps now, which a good old buddy, Mr. James Ponder, um, he's starting to play Nobleman of Extermination, which he had brought to a lot of our attentions. It's a pretty good card because if you look in people's deck list now, everybody's running 2 ofs and traps, 2 TTs, 2 Mirror Forces, 2 D Prisons, 2 Bottomless, 2 Warnings, 2 Compulse. So Nobleman of Extermination looks like a very promising card. Uh, so if you can build a deck that doesn't rely around traps, then triple Nobleman of Extermination looks very promising because um, if you chain the card, you can search and or you don't have to remove them from play. But think about it: 2 TTs, 2 Mirror Forces, 2 Warnings, 2 Bottomless. None of that can be chainable. 2 Compulse can be chainable, and that's about it. So if you can build a deck that doesn't have to rely on traps this format, which I think is possible because you still have your hand traps of Maxi and Effect Veiler. Um, you're gonna be golden. Um, so yeah, that's about it for this video. I hope to soon, if I really feel like it, either this week or beginning of next week, I'm gonna try to download some kind of software for my computer to do dueling network deck profiles. Because really, I don't think you guys want to see more hero deck profiles on this channel, and I really don't think you want to see more TG deck profiles on this channel. Those are the only two decks I've been messing with so far, and I have plants, but I don't think plants are really good. So I need to go into dual network to upload some shit. So yeah, thanks for watching. Let's see, there's probably some shout outs I should give. I'm not too sure. So I guess I hate this camera. I don't know why I keep zooming in and zooming out. But I guess some shout outs. I guess the first shout out will be to Mr. Stunts064 for playing my build of heroes. That was last format's build that he played this format. Um, I don't know how well he did at the regional he took it to, but he gave me a shout out, and I enjoyed it. I really appreciated it. So yeah, go check his channel out. I'll put a link in the description. Also check out the Steel Scissor's channel. He's a very good guy. I like him a lot. He uploads some pretty funny content. So I'll leave a link to his channel, Steel Scissor. And shout out to Tony Wynn and for everybody in Chattanooga who watches this video. Something incredible is gonna happen in the next in the near future. So be prepared for something of that nature that involves me and Mr. Tony Wynn. So yeah guys, thanks for watching. Please subscribe and give this video a like or a thumbs up, or better yet, comment on the video and tell me what deck profile you'd like to see on this channel so I can upload something, because this stupid ass phone I still can't record videos. So anyway, thanks for watching guys, and subscribe.